So the Tower of Babel story can be found in Genesis 11, 1 through 9, and it illustrates humanity's collective attempt to elevate themselves over Jesus. The people of Babel sought to build a tower that reached the heavens, not to glorify Yahweh by any means, but to make a name for themselves and to demonstrate their own power and their own self sufficiency. Does that sound familiar? This effect symbolized the rejection of Yahweh's authority and that their desires to be self exalted. So, this is the dynamics. The people said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name of ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." Genesis 11:4. Their actions were rooted in pride, rebellion, self worship. Instead of submitting to Yahweh's command to spread across the earth and fill it, like he said in Genesis 9:1, they chose unity for selfish ambition. This was not collaborative for a righteous purpose, but rather a collective defiance against Yahweh's will. This is how Yahweh responds. He responded by confusing their language so they can no longer understand one another. The work stopped and the people were scattered as God originally intended. This demonstrated that humans' plans centered on pride and self-glory will fail every single time when we are conflicted with elevating ourselves over Jesus. How does this relate to today's generation? So the spirit of Babel is evident in today's culture. I think we all can agree on that. Where self-worship is at an all-time high, self-seeking behavior and individualism dominates. Social media platforms amplify the idea of making a name for ourselves, or self-love, or a higher self, or a higher elevation. You know the terms I'm talking about. Again, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong for wanting more for yourself, but there is a difference when you're worshiping yourself, which often encourages people to prioritize their desires, their ambitions, their image over any and everything else, especially in relationship to Jesus. This pursuit of fame, personal fulfillment, and validation has become a modern day Tower of Babel that people build to elevate themselves. The culture celebrates self-love in many ways that often excludes Jesus. Jesus said, "I am love." So how are you self-loving without Jesus? It promotes the idea that everything revolves around your feelings, ambition, and happiness. This mindset can lead to a society that prioritizes yourself over Jesus and over other people, which ultimately is fostering an idea of isolation, confusion, and emptiness, mirroring, scattering, and the division seen at Babel. True self-love starts with loving Jesus first. Biblically, self-love is not about glorifying yourself. It's not, but rather recognizing our worth through Christ Jesus, who loved us first, according to 1 John 4:19. Jesus taught that the greatest commandments are to love your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your body, all your soul, all your strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. Matthew 22.